Tulsi and Hillary. Hillary and Tulsi. It's still on, and Tulsi's winning.
People warned me in 2016 that my endorsement of Bernie Sanders would be the end of my quote-unquote political career. But if they can falsely portray me as a traitor, then they can do it to anyone. If you stand up against Hillary, they will destroy you and discredit your message. But here is the truth. They will not intimidate us.
It's like a message from the future. She's like a Hawaiian Sarah Connor. Even Trump weighed in. Hillary Clinton, if you've heard of her.
Hillary Clinton, if you've heard of her, she's the one that's accusing everybody of being a Russian agent. Anybody that is opposed to her is a Russian agent. Tulsi, I don't know Tulsi, but she's not a Russian agent. I don't know Jill Stein. I know she likes environment. I don't think she likes Russians. These people are sick. There's something wrong with them. But I think that Tulsi Gabbard probably got helped quite a bit by this stir.
Meanwhile, an MSNBC panel mocked Tulsi for not denying that she was a Russian asset.
One thing that was interesting about Tulsi Gabbard's response, I mean, she went after Hillary Clinton. She was strong. She said that she wasn't going to run as a third-party candidate. She never denied being a Russian asset. That was the one aspect that was missing from her response.
Oh, you know what?
Which you think that would be the first, you know, in the first line or two. It was not there.
Ugh, what a moronic giggle fest. Sorry, Tulsi's not an asset, but what a set of asses. Speaking of, here's Joy.
She hasn't denied it. She hasn't said anything in her tweets. How dare you? It's outrageous. Of course I'm not. She didn't say that. No. She's just going after Hillary. I just think that she could be a useful idiot the way Trump is a useful idiot to the Russians. Yeah. That they see something. They say, oh, look, a useful idiot. Let's play this.
Joy calling someone an idiot. I'd say that's the pot calling the kettle black, but pots have a higher IQ. But this feud draws quite the contrast. If there's anyone who reminds you of the past, one of murky sleaze, it's a Clinton. Their favorite smear, Russian asset. They said Trump was one, and now they're saying it's a young, clear-eyed female veteran who served her country while rejecting conventional ideologies. There's lots to disagree with on Tulsi, but at least you know she's real, which is why the Dems fear her. The party of identity politics can't figure her identity out. Maybe that's why so many Republicans like her. She isn't manufactured to please the bots at MSNBC. But Hillary is. Her bitter, idiotic commentary keeps reminding you of why Trump won. Think about it. She says this so-called Russian asset would split the Democratic vote if she went rogue. No, she'd likely pull more R's than D's. Despite what Hillary claims, Tulsi's no Jill Stein. She's sane, a vet with a libertarian bent. One that's not to the left of the Dems, but to the right of the Dems. So not only is Hillary stupidly wrong about Tulsi, she makes it clear who the Republican asset really is. It's Hillary. Every time she opens her mouth, she makes the Dems look sad. Are we sure she's not on Trump's payroll? Dagan, I have a theory. I haven't named it yet, but I call it smear by external preference. That means you could be in a punk band, right? A very popular punk band, but among your fans are skinheads. So someone could say, you're a skinhead band, or you're a skinhead asset. So she could have a ton of fans. Some of them are Russian, some of them are Canadian. She can't help, likewise, we can't help who our fans are. So if Canadians like you, are you a Canadian asset? You see my point?
Yes, I'm not a Canadian asset. I generally rebuff Justin Bieber and Jim Carrey at any opportunity. But you mentioned the word bitter, and I wrote down bitterness is Hillary's favorite color of lipstick. That's pretty clear. All of her failings, all of her failures, she can't take ownership of them. To her fans, and there are still a few, she should have been able to beat Trump as easy as driving through a McDonald's drive-thru, but she can't. And in that Pluff podcast that she did, of course she has to go after Fox News, but she longs for the day where there were just three television networks and a few newspapers, and she actually had the audacity to say it was a much more controllable environment. She says, so it's a lot harder for Americans to know what they're supposed to believe. That's how she views the world, that she's out there to, the American people know what they believe in, and they don't believe in you. Bye.
Yeah. Dana, don't you agree that if Tulsi ran, wouldn't it hurt Trump more than it would hurt the Dems? because you hear it from Republicans and independents more about how much they like Tulsi than anybody in the Dems. Am I wrong? I sense that. But
I think on the left, one of the things that some on the left have a problem with Tulsi Gabbard because she's not anti-war, right? She's a kind of a hawk, but she would use drones.
Yes.
And things like that. And there are a lot of liberals who don't want that at all either.
Right.
And libertarians, I'm not sure so much for that as well. But if you're a Jill Stein, so 1.4 million people voted for Jill Stein in the election. That's not out of 330 odd million people. That's not that many. But if you were one of them, would you be motivated to return to the Democratic fold after this? After Hillary going after Tulsi Gabbard? Probably not.
Well, good
I don't
point.
necessarily mean that. I don't think that means that she's going to all of a sudden turn into Republican voters. But Tulsi Gabbard also gained 50,000 followers up for this. She got a ton of free publicity.
Yeah.
And for what? Like, what does it accomplish for Hillary Clinton? I don't know if it's anything.
Yeah, maybe more book sales because she needs the
true.
money, Needs a fourth house, Jesse. One of my smartest friends, Walter, is 100% positive that she's entering the race. One of my other smarter friends, Scott, says there's no way.
Scott Adams?
Drink.
Yes. Where would you say? Do you think this is all because she's coming back?
No, I don't think she's going to enter the race. There's people don't like her. People don't like her on the right. They don't like her in the middle. And now a lot of people on the left don't like her. She's a feminist, Greg, and she smeared a female combat veteran.
That's
Just
true.
think about that. This woman went to overseas to lay her life down for her country, and Hillary's smearing her as a Russian. She probably actually had sniper fire over her head.
Sure.
Whereas Hillary just lied about it. And then Hillary is so tough on Russia. I mean, a few years ago, she was giggling with the reset button, laughing it up, yucking it up. She's so tough. A couple of years ago, she called Assad a reformer. A reformer. And then, I think it was in 2011, Nancy Pelosi, Waxman, a bunch of Democrats, went over to Syria.
John Kerry had
shook
dinner.
hands with Assad. They didn't want to, now they have to kill him to be tough. And if you don't want to kill him, you're a Russian asset. It's so crazy now. The Democrats have never been tough on Russia. Remember, I mean, they were like, communist sympathizers 75 years ago. They were against everything Ronald Reagan was doing to defeat the Soviet Union. And, Romney got mocked for saying Russia was a threat. Now they turn around and they say, oh, if you're not against Russia, they did all these kinds of things, pointed missiles at us. Proxy wars, but they hack a Democrat's computer, and all of a sudden we're in World War III. It's crazy. You cannot have a legitimate disagreement on the left over foreign policy now without getting smeared as a Russian agent.
All right, Juan. Is she a Russian agent?
I don't know. How do I?
She didn't deny it.
Yep, she didn't deny it.
But I will say this.
Are you a
I
Russian
think
agent, Juan?
It could be. You know what I think? If you look just at the hard politics of it, Hillary Clinton has no political future. She's not running.
You think so, really, though?
And I think that what you have here is that she's free to speak her mind. And she does not want a repeat of what happened with a third-party candidate in 2016. Because remember, Jill Stein got 1% in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, that exceeded the margin of Trump's victory over Hillary Clinton. We're talking a big jump in terms of electoral votes.
But Tulsi
let me
isn't
finish.
Jill.
Let me finish.
I know, but
it
address
doesn't.
that.
Let me just say, and remember, Jill Stein's at dinner with Putin and Michael Flynn in 2015. Where do you see? She gets like 2% right now in the polls, but guess what? She's all over RT. She's all over Sputnik, right? She gets lots of attention, and I think this is what you were referring to. Gets lots of attention from far-right conspiracy people. They love her. The bots love her. You can understand why people are saying, hey, wait a second, are the Russians trying to exploit Tulsi Gabbard? She doesn't need to be a Russian asset. She can just be someone who's exploited to diminish Democratic turnout and Democratic votes.
That goes to my point, which is you can't control an external preference. If someone is a fan of your band, you can't say no.
No, but this is politics. And when politics, if you see right-wing people supporting Tulsi Gabbard, they have a reason.
No, actually, right-wing people supporting Tulsi Gabbard hurts them because they won't vote for Trump.
No, she's still being used by the right to try to diminish.
You've sucked me into your conspiracy.
Well, I think you're overplaying the bots. You guys control the whole media. You complain to get a few bots.
Oh, my God.
Get
You know what? You're waiting for Facebook.
Get out of here.
We call you Mark Zuckerberg. That's what we call you.
Oh, my gosh.